Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another RPG News Roundup, this time for June 29th, 2024, where each week I take a look back at the week in tabletop, computer, and console role-playing game news and bring you the highlights. I apologize for the potatoes quality camera today. My AC is broken, so I'm down where it's relatively non-lethal. As always, we'll start with the computer and console role-playing game news. Fate Seeker 2 is set to release on PS5 on July 4th. At the same time, the PC release has been out for a while now. It will get English support, because it hasn't had it before. It was originally released in Chinese back in 2021. Riviera, The Promised Land, is getting an international release on the PC, set for release on July 17th. It is a tactical RPG which has been available in Japan on the Switch and mobile platforms. It will now include both English and Japanese voiceovers. Union of Gnomes is set to hit early access on July 18th. It looks like it'll be a roguelike deck builder where you look to free various gnomes, assemble them into squads, and eventually go on to face Snow White. Mario and Luigi Brotherhood is set to release sometime on November 7th on the Switch. It'll include turn-based combat and have you exploring various landscapes. Reindeer Story is set to release on November 1st. It is an indie Christmas-themed RPG. Dice and Goblins is set for release on the fourth quarter of this year. It will be an endless dungeon-style dungeon crawler with turn-based combat where you can combine skills to form combos, gather loot, and upgrade your gear. Alcahest is in development. It looks like it'll be an action-adventure-style RPG with a highly interactive environments, various realistic locations, and so forth. From what I understand, it looks like it wants to be a spiritual successor to Dark Messiah, which is an interesting one, I must admit. It looks like it'll have castles, forest villages, and other realistic settings. As far as actual releases go, Cursed Labyrinth Redux saw its release. It is a card battling deck builder kind of hard RPG where you face off against various enemies in card games. There is Manga RPG. It is a visual novel action RPG hybrid inspired by information from manga comic books, video games, and other pop culture. Everspell is another card battling RPG, a lot of these this week. You play a mage using cards to cast spells, although there is a strategy turn-based element. Dice and Fold is a turn-based dungeon crawler, yet another one with card building, and it's got deck building where you attack the enemy by rolling dice. However, in order you roll dice to damage enemy cards. Finally, there is King Island 3, a sort of action roguelike that is basically a conversion of an old Flash game for release on Steam. There's been a couple of these coming out as well. And now on to tabletop gaming news. It looks like Wizards of the Coast has put the original Dungeons & Dragons, the making of the original Dungeons & Dragons, out in print, which compiles documents relating to the creation of Dungeons & Dragons. Interestingly enough, the disclaimer that they chose is to, let's just say that it goes above and beyond in trying to completely alienate everybody who worked on TSR before WotC. And it did anger one of the few remaining original TSR designers, Rob Kuntz, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, who has let his feelings be known on that subject. Yeah, WotC has lost me. They lost me a long time ago, but now they're basically guaranteeing I'm never coming back. For fans of Pathfinder and similar Paizo products, PaizoCon Europe has been set to happen between August 15th to the 18th in Geneva, Switzerland. There is a timetable available on their site for both in-person and online events. Moving on to minor and PDF releases, Rogue Genius Games has Masterclass Cantrip Thurge. It is a spellcaster that focuses on zero-level spells. They're able to use more of them as well as to make them more powerful. It is available in 5th edition, Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition, as well as Starfinder formats. They also have Varanthia Codex Grithadnus available in print. It is a source book for 5th edition that details various nations and regions in a sort of medieval fantasy world that also has firearms. It is available in 5th edition as well as advanced 5th edition formats. There's also a bonus pack that includes a few adventures, and these look to be available in OSR format. Paolo A. Pina has a couple of 5th edition adventures. There is a Northern Legend as well as the Goblin Hunters. Grimm Press has Unearthed Spoils Anthology 1 for 5th edition. It is available in print and details all of the unearthed spoils and collected volumes 1 to 5 in one massive book with various archetypes, backgrounds, spells, items, monsters, and adventures. They also have Unearthed Spoils Volume Number 22, Mechanical Mayhem, that offers a sort of material situated around clockwork and construct creatures. Ironwick 5e Mysteries Number 6, The Musgrave Ritual, is another adaptation of a classic Sherlock Holmes tale into a gothic fantasy adventure. Westbright Creations has a couple offerings for their Creban setting. There is Tale of the Grand Old Oak, an adventure as well as an artifact, as some other material. They also have the Blood Hunter clan and a encounter toolkit that offers material around the Lizard Breaker Elves. That Night in Somnolence is an adventure for level 1 to 9 characters, detailing a world of dreams and nightmares for 5th edition. Dwellers in the Dark is a 5th edition adventure dealing with a fortified island city near some straits and is suited for 1st to 3rd level adventurers. Underworld is a fantasy adventure that is theoretically system neutral but also has stats for 5th edition Dungeon Crawl classics and survived this style rule sets. It is inspired by retro video games. Hellwatch Infernal Oath is a 5th edition campaign setting that includes many new stat blocks, spells, weapons, and a world map detailing a dark fantasy world. The Jester's Court is a 5th edition adventure meant to be comic, serious, musical role-playing investigation, so whatever that is. Master Dungeon 2nd edition is a group of material for 5th edition, including rules for replacing 5th edition content, various genre conversions, etc. Equipment for Pirates of the High Seas is a 5th edition supplement that details various nautical equipment and other essentials for pirates and privateers. It includes various firearms, melee weapons, heavy weapons, and armor. Book of Hexcrawl Part 4 Factions. This is a continuation of the Kobold Press series for 5th edition. This one offers various material for creating and running factions in a living world. Goblin King is a one-page dungeon compatible with Shadowdark, revolving around a group of goblins that has been kidnapping local youths. Tales from the Smoking Worm, number 7 and number 8 are available. They include a slew of material for Dungeon Crawl Classics and Mutant Crawl Classics, ranging from missions to patrons, items, and so forth, as well as simple articles, comics, and so on. A Problem in Port Haven is an old-school Essentials adventure suited for level 1 to 3 characters. It is a semi-sandbox setting in a peaceful village by the coast. Oh My Lost Dark Lords is a OSR, an old-school Essentials offering that collects 13 classes for chaotic and evil player characters. Necropolis of the Forebearers is an OSR adventure module for AD&D and Osric material, but they do have 5th edition versions in there as well. It is an old-school mega dungeon set in an ancient tomb. It's not a mega dungeon, it's just a dungeon crawl. It's not a mega dungeon, it's just a dungeon crawl in an ancient tomb. There are a set of adventurers for Lamentations of the Flame Princess out. There's Hearts of the Saint, Lair of the Brain Eaters, and a true relation of the Great Virginia Disastrum 1633. Gotta love some of the titles on these. Pair of the Flesh is an adventure for Shadow of the Demon Lord. It deals with a rash of unsolved murders in a town's poor district. The Hag's Hut is an adventure for Dragonbane set within the Misty Vale. I assume it involves a hag and a hut. Advanced Fighting Fantasy Adventure Creation System is a tome that includes a large number of tools, tables, and so on to create settings, adventures, quests, and stories for that system. Gallant Knight Games and Alan Barr have an old-school style role-playing game system drawing from wargaming roots rather than the whole history of RPGs called Riches and Ruins. It is available across several books. There is a core rulebook, and Jamie Thew's Guide to Dungeon Denizens, which is the bestiary, the Crumbling Castle, and the Chambers of Ohebus, which are adventurers, Addie's Tome of Chaos, which offers magic items and information on the planes, and there will be an upcoming one that's not come out yet. Kurtuba is a solo and co-op RPG designed around exploring catacombs. It has a roguelite mode included. Leagues of Gothic Horror, Mordavia is a setting book for the Leagues of Gothic Horror RPG. It details a fictional land in Eastern Europe, Mordavia, which I assume is kind of based on Mordovia. We'll see. Horror Survival is a tabletop skirmish game set in a world with zombies, slashers, vampires, and so forth. It's Only Magic for the Cypher system details a world of spells, glamours, and so on, offering a variety of playstyles from cozy witchcore to darker supernatural threats. League of Champions is a sourcebook RPG for the Champions RPG that details various pre-existing superheroes from the Champions RPG lore. Cyberpunk Dungeons Volume 2 is a collection of 5 cyberpunk dungeons designed to fit into any kind of cyberpunk RPG. The Sacred Temple is a story path tasty bit offering, apparently for Scion, I believe. It does detail a temple below a ruins. Gaia Asunder Core Rulebook is a post-apocalyptic RPG where you can craft items, build, upgrade, and maintain vehicles and navigate your way around a torn and destroyed world. Delta Green, The Good Life, is a scenario for Delta Green. This details a wealthy Atlanta suburb that hides some secrets within it. Electric Brain is an adventure supplement for weird heroes of public access. It details a home appliance company that has distributed gadgets that begin to attack the citizens. Mongoose has Bounty Hunter for Traveler that offers a new style of campaign for that system, bounty hunting. It details rules for reputation, a system to get pay and contracts, hunting down marks, and so forth. Stargrave, Dead or Alive, is a supplement to generate and run solo adventures for Stargrave. It focuses on bounty hunting scenarios, so 2 of those. A few different people had offerings for a Mothership. There's Hundreds, which offers a number of tables for the Mothership RPG. They Won't Cage Us is a heist adventure compatible with Mothership that revolves around the Ashgate prison construction. Sorry to Bother You is a group of 40 non-player characters for use with the Mothership RPG. The Hunger in Achernar is a Mothership adventure where the PCs uncover a mystery of a missing ship in its experimental drive. Finally, there is Known Frequencies, issues 1 and 2. It's a lo-fi, in-universe zine made for Mothership from the perspective of a futuristic ham radio society. And with that, let's take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of even receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only. And I did see a few computer and console role-playing game campaigns that caught my eye. Infinity Knights X-Ross looks to be a 90s-inspired JRPG with a sort of pixel retro look with up to 3-player couch co-op. Looks like the music's being done by a pretty famous composer from the classic JRPG series. Peasant Never Meet Your Heroes looks to be an open-world action RPG where instead of playing an adventurer, you play a peasant within a town who's just grown tired of all the adventurers pushing them around, thinking they can get away with anything. Beyond the Tales looks to be a classic turn-based RPG with an after-game experience that breaks the fourth wall, I guess, somehow. Peerless Destiny looks like it wants to be a 3D action RPG with a focus on a unique and exaggerated combat style. It looks like it'll include many types of different skills that can be obtained and take place in a remote domain. Onward towards tabletop campaigns, Bloodlines Revamped looks to be a 5th edition adventure in a realm of vampire politics with 7 deadly quests associated with it. These Spirits of Wyvernfall looks to be a 5th edition adventure, a mystery adventure, where there are rumors of an undead menace. The Mind's Oracle will be a 5th edition Mind's Oracle Scheme will be a 5th edition campaign for level 1 to 4 adventurers from Adventure Ripples. It looks like it'll be the beginning of an entire series of adventures. The Gods of Espen will fund a homebrew campaign with its own lore, gods, and history for 5th edition. Rats of Ulgol looks to be a part of a collection of adventures for 5th edition detailing with long devoted devotees of Ulgol that are rats. It'll be a collection of adventures for levels 1 to 8 characters and be a conversion of a Shadow Dark RPG adventure. Kobolds on Strike will be a 5th edition comedy adventure about kobolds who have had enough of being cannon fodder and go on strike. 100 unique side quests will be in exactly what it says on the tin, a collection of 5th edition side quests and PC challenges, plot hooks, and so on with 100 plus pages of content. Prague Core Fantasy Dark Age of Fear is looking to fund a multimedia fantasy RPG experience, I guess, with system-agnostic sourcebooks as well as 5th edition compatibility within the setting and associated soundtrack, actual play series, animations, and so on. Codex of Chance will be a 5th edition encounter overhaul that looks to add survivability mechanics, terrain guides, and so forth for 3,000 plus creatures, with creatures not only from the WotC official content, but things like Kobold Press and Dragonix. Mystic Herbs Compendium for 5th edition will be another of what it says on the tin, an illustrated guide of magical plants with potions, recipes, and GM toolkits. The Cursed Valley of Brennan Keen will be a dungeon crawl classic RPG adventure set to be a 0-level funnel. Dark Wizard Games is looking to produce 2 new OSR adventures for their Maximum Mayhem Dungeon series, The Fantastic Quest of Whimsical and Lost Tomb of the Mummy Lich. They'll be suited for 1st edition style rule sets. Tainted Grail Tabletop RPG Song of a Dying World will be the next chapter of the Tainted Grail series. It will be set in a sort of dark version of Arthurian legend mixed with Celtic culture and folklore. It's associated with the video games that came out relatively recently. Blast Back Core will be an action-based urban fantasy sci-fi escape horror style RPG. It'll be using a D20-based action-based system with a focus on action and will allow you to create and publish and sell your own homebrew games, content, and scenarios with the license they'll include. Sinless Billionaire Bounty will be a trove of quick start tools for the Sinless Fantasy Cyberpunk RPG. It'll include a technical manual for the core rulebook, campaign setting, and so on. Hellbreaker will be a tabletop RPG inspired by the video game Doom, where you wade through 9 levels of hell facing off against various fiends. Finally, there is Strange Heroes, a tabletop RPG featuring superheroes. With that, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Crawler, my RPG News Roundup for June 29th, 2024. As always, links will be below. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment, your feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. I'll be back in front of the proper camera next week. I hope this has been watchable. I am so sorry about that. Until next time, take care and goodbye. And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribestar, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.